figured that was the appropriate style music for what we're about to talk about today, Tom. We're headed off to Paris for the L'Arc at Longchamp. I think I might have gotten that wrong, but I did my best.
You tried.
Yes. I mean, you can get an A for effort, right? And that's what counts.
Absolutely.
So
pick winners, not necessarily do good pronunciations.
Well, I am the official pronunciator of Horse Racing Radar. So however it is, however I say it, that is like the Webster's Dictionary version. So we're off to Paris, to Longchamp, to talk about a really big weekend of racing. Tom, tell us a little bit about what we're getting ourselves into.
Well, we have 2 days of top-notch racing. We start out Saturday with the best race will be the marathon with Stradivarius and Triomphe, among others. It's actually a pretty good sized field. We move into Sunday and we have all Group 1 races, and I know you're very excited to see the Arabian race too. I
can't wait. I love those Arabian races for sure, especially up Delaware when they close out a card and you need an Arabian horse to fill out your pick for it. I can't think of anything that I really enjoy better than that. So I guess we should get started. We're going to do all of the races, all of our picks today. We're going to talk about our for Sunday. So when you get up in the morning before the NFL gets started, your favorite team kicks off, you might be able to make a little bit of money so that you can go to your book, and instead of betting 1 unit, you can bet 2 units on your favorite team Sunday afternoon. But, Tom, I think it's important to talk a little bit about the conditions that the horses might face.
Yeah, it is raining right now in Paris, and the going will either be very, very soft or heavy, and not unusual for this time of year. You really got to look closely at these horses, and if they like that off or in the past have shown some interest in off going, and also a little better look in the breeding on the 2-year-olds and make sure that they are interested in that soft going.
Yes, I see that it is expected to be soft. We have 6 races to cover, so let us not take all day. I was going to try to say something in French, but I know absolutely nothing, so I would have just been all made up. Let's start in race number, I guess this would be race number 1 on their card that day, and it is you can pronounce it because I have no idea.
Well, this is the Criterium des Pouliches, and it's a Group 1 for fillies, and we are on the main course, the Grand Course.
Running 1 mile.
We're running 1 mile.
So is this a turn, no turn, flat, uphill, downhill, kind of sideways? How does this one go?
They're going to have a bit of a turn in
All
this race. So we'll get a little bit of a gradual turn into and when they turn for home. So it'll be definitely an interesting race for a number of these horses because they've never gone a mile.
Mm-hmm. So who do you think is most capable of going a mile then?
My top choice is number 6, Acer's Alley. Has draw 7. 2 wins from 3 races. Last race was 7 furlongs on good to soft going. It was a Group 3 race, and it beat the males. I really think it ran a nice race. It sat back, moved about a furlong and a half out, and very, very strong finish. Should like the soft going and has won on heavy going. So very interesting in that respect of the 2 wins. And the Dam produced 4 foals. They've all won. And one of them is one we've seen, Digital Age, trained by Chad Brown, as a Grade 1 winner in the United States. So based on that, this definitely has some pedigree to show up in a Group 1 race. Number 9, Who Knows, draw 6, my next choice. Won the last, making all the running, and when she got challenged, she went, and so it held on nicely at the end, and it was a Group 3 race. She's run 4 times, has 2 wins and 2 fourths. So let's finish first or finish 4th.
Yeah, at least consistent.
Definitely going to be on the lead, and I think she may have a little bit of an advantage because she seems to like that off going. Dam has produced 4 foals. They've all won. And 2 others are stakes winners, so not bad numbers. And they've all won at distances of 1 mile or greater. So the mile is definitely within the wheelhouse of this horse.
Not an issue for them.
My final choice is number 1, Rechelit. Draw number 2. Winner last time out at a mile in a condition race at Chantilly over the soft going. The other win was also over soft going, and but this was a race that was for horses that had never started before. So real maidens.
Uh-huh.
I think from what I've read, this one should be the favorite.
Looks like it on the board right now. Yep.
Maxine Guillaume is she's got the ride and she's done well with this. The Dam was a Grade 1 winner at Santa Anita and over a mile, and her 3 folds are all winners. The sire I have to of course throw in there is Frankel, and let's face it, Frankel's tossed some pretty good horses out there. And so that concludes my 3 for this race. It should be a very interesting race.
Yeah, I applied the keep it simple, stupid standards to trying to handicap this over there because the information was limited, and I sometimes qualify for the last S in that. So I looked at the horses that had run pretty well on a soft track and had done well at these related distances, and I came away liking the 1 horse Raslet, and then the 4 horse Fleur de Ris. I'm having too much fun with this. And then I got the 2 Zelly, and then the number 5 Agartha. We'll go with that. So those are the horses I like. They all have done pretty well on a soft track, and I expect that you're going to see big races out of all of those horses, and they're going to come in exact order 1, 4, 2, 5 for an ice cold French superfecta. The next race we're on to, Tom, is a 7 furlong. This is the Jean-Luc. And then I'm not even going to pronounce the National de Garde. Is that about right?
It's a Grand Criterium. It's one of the top 2-year-old male races for the sprint, the middle, sort of the sprinters. That is the way I like to look at these.
So what's all this about then? The Qatar Prix? Is that like the advertiser?
Yeah, that's just whoever's they put the money up. No, I'm kidding. Grand Criterium is what this race is.
Well, I was close then. All right. So anyway, about this race.
Well, again, we're dealing with a bunch of 2-year-olds. So like the first race, anything can happen, and generally does. Mm-hmm. So I went with number 9.
Seems to be a number that you like so far today.
Yeah. Draw number 5. Undefeated in 4 starts. Definitely stepping up from the Group 3 race it ran last time, but it was a great race. Mm-hmm. Sat back, moved at the 2 furlong marker, and was ridden out. Its first 3 races were at La Teste de Bouche, which is a track located a little south and west of Bordeaux, and not what I would call a top class track, but has very nice beaches. And so when it did step up in the last race, it really proved that it belonged with this bunch. Mm-hmm. Dam won at shorter distances, and this is her first foal to race. The sire has mainly produced sprinters, so I'm curious to see how well this horse will do against a Group 1 company, and I like it because I'm going to get a price on this one.
Yeah, there are no odds yet, so that's why I was kind of fishing around on the pages there. But looking for at Cabra, looks like right now it's about 9-2. That's the estimated odds, I guess.
Right. That's the other forecast. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Number 7, and I'm going to butcher this name.
That doesn't matter.
Rakshaganti. I don't know. Draw 4. 2 races in Germany, 2 wins. Group 3 last time out at Baden-Baden in soft going. It's running. It just the time the running the race was actually, I thought, very fast for this horse, and based on the group. But my German racing knowledge is limited, so I had to look up at Baden-Baden. In the end, in fact, that was he did run a pretty quick race. The Dam has produced 6 runners, 5 winners, 2 are stakes winners. They've won at distances between 6 furlongs and a mile. The sire ran very useful races at a mile in England, and he was also shipped into the United States at the end of his career and won a Group 2 and was placed in Group 1 races. So definitely has the pedigree indicate that it should be able to handle 7 furlongs without any problem, and maybe a little longer too. one of the ones that drives me crazy is my last choice is number 1 Ebor River. Has draw 2. Third last out in a Group 1 at Curra in Ireland and lost by 4 lengths. Time race before that, which I didn't bet it, went off at 12-1 and wins a Group 1. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay. The thing what drives me crazy with this horse is I've watched some of it. I've watched its races and I've watched them when they've run them, and it seems to run green almost every race, or something happening. Either veers left, or it does. It sits somewhere and then it does something else. It's aggravating, especially when you like the horse on the form, but then when you watch the race, you're scratching your head, going, "What the heck is going on?" But,
what was I thinking?
Yeah, well, but I'm going to throw one other little thing and say it's a 2-year-old.
Yes, absolutely. That's how those 2-year-olds go.
I'm predicting with this horse sit mid-pack, make a move between the 2 and 1 furlong marker, and come up and see where he finishes out. The dam is produced 3 foals, 2 are winners, and they've only won a distance of 6 furlongs. So that'll be interesting. But on the dam side, but on the sire side, he was miler and he won at Royal Ascot, and he liked the soft going. So gotta put this horse in there just because it drives me crazy, and we'll see what it does this time around.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to have it drive you crazy and win, right? Better and not have it. So again, same thing for me today. On every race, the philosophy is going to be the same. Good track record on a soft track and a decent record. Hope maybe at the distance or at the track itself. So I like Angel Blue. The horse has 3 races lifetime that it's won. 2 of them were on a soft track. Ancient Rome is a head away from being undefeated in 4 races. So far. And then I have the same horse, the 9 horse that Tom likes, Akakaba, whatever. That's another horse that is actually undefeated in 4 races. And every single one of those efforts was on a soft track. And then I'm going to go nuts with Tom as well with Ebro River. So we'll see if that indeed works out to drive us both crazy or make us both winners. Hopefully the latter and not the former. So that's our goal.
Both to me. So
yes, many horses. Pat Day used to do that to me as a jockey too. I'd bet on him and he'd lose. I'd then bet on him, he won. So I just didn't go to the track when he was running that day, which was every day. So I stayed away from the track, saved a little bit of money. The next one, I guess, is the big one, the L'Arc de Triomphe. Is that right? Did I get that close?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, right. My French is now excelling. What is that called? Rosetta Stone? I'll have to, or Babbel. Those are 2 that they use now to learn a new language. I'll have to work on
2 of the top ones, yeah. One thing to note in the Arc is there's no geldings allowed.
So you might be able to have some kids afterwards.
Well, many years ago, the owners of John Henry wanted to run in the Arc, and then they found out they didn't allow geldings. So they had to take, but he did okay for it.
But they had to stitch him back together again.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's basically looking for breeding purposes, but on the other hand, when you look at the race, the fillies look pretty good in here. So fillies and mares look pretty good in here. So, but we've got a really good field.
Yeah, so it looks like a nice field. So this one's 1.5 miles.
Yeah, mile and
a half. Are there turns on this? Just a slow, gradual?
Big sweeping turn. They'll start out in the back and come around. They're going to be on the grand course again. And it'll be interesting to see the start and also see how these horses like the going. And that was my top choice is the Japanese horse, Chrono Genesis. Group 1 winner in Japan. Ran second to Mistrif in Dubai, lost by a neck. Has faced a horse by the name of Amanize, which also won in Dubai, and she is probably one of the best race mares to run in Japan ever. And she only lost by 3/4 of a length to her. She's run 13 times, won 6 races, 3 seconds, and 3/3. So that's pretty normal for her. And she also, layoffs are normal for her. So they race her and then they lay her off for a while. And this has been the target all along. And the Japanese have really wanted to win this race. And this one, I think, has got a great chance. she's won on firm. She's won on yielding. There is some question whether she'll like the soft. But I'm thinking the way she runs and the way she's been in the past, I think she's got a great chance in here. Leading rider, Oisin Murphy, is going to ride. He was over there Wednesday to get acquainted with the horse. So he's doing his homework, and I'm thinking they're doing theirs. I went with Snowfall as my second choice. I forgot to put the numbers. 15.
15. It's 5-1.
Draw. And, she didn't get going till, I think, too late. I think Frankie Dettori rode her last time. He got her going too low, and she lost to Tiona by a length and a half. I just, she's unbelievable in her first 4 races of the season. 32 lengths winner in all those races, and she went in from Group 3 to Group 1. And keep in mind, her 2-year-old career was nothing special.
Yeah.
Ryan Moore returns for the ride. Because of her poor running as a 2-year-old, they had to supplement her into this race. There's one other supplement in here too. So she's was never nominated for this race to begin with, but she's obviously belongs here, certainly based on her record. And she's won on the good to soft. I don't see any reason why she wouldn't like this going.
Mm-hmm.
And one of your favorite horses I'm going to put as my third choice, which is Hurricane Lane. Last 6 races, 5 wins versus Group 1 or Group 2 company, running against 3-year-olds. One bad race. Well, I don't know if it's a bad race when you finish 3rd in the English Derby. The jockey switch we're going to go is not a concern to me, going from William Buick to James Doyle. I don't think you lose anything there. And Buick is going to ride I think will be the favorite, Aladar. And these are, of course, Godolphin horses. The soft going is my only question. Based on pedigree, it should like the soft going, but I don't know. Could he win? Yep. No question in my mind.
Is he going to win? Of course.
Well, there's some pretty good horses in here. So.
Yeah, there are some good horses in
here.
Sure.
Like Tarawa, the top choice is, she won the Breeders' Cup. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and then we got Love in here, and we've got, more than and even some of the lesser horses that we think are lesser have done more than their fair share to be and to belong against this bunch.
Yes,
sure.
sure.
We've got horses from Japan, Germany, England, France. I think really the weakest bunch is the French horses, which probably be one of the winners, right?
Could be. I mean, I like the home cooking. For me, I obviously put Hurricane Lane on top. If you don't know why, you aren't watching, go back, rewind, you'll know. I also like the 7-horse Chrono Genesis as you. One thing that it's run great on soft. It has done conceptually well on that. But the one thing you did not mention in all of the achievements was that horse has won $10 million. That's not a small amount of money. So that horse has been facing good competition if you're going to make that kind of change. I like the Adiar, the 10-horse, which might be their favorite. Either that or Tarawona will be. And then I think Snowfall is just too good to overlook. I'm throwing out the last one. If you look beyond the two bad races the horse has run, the rest have been stellar efforts. So I feel like Snowfall is being overlooked here, and to get it at 5-1, maybe seems a little bit low in price. But again, I feel like it's been too well established this year to kind of overlook. The next race we're going to go off to is a 1.25 miles. This one is the Opera, Le Opera. I think that some of the folks that you communicate with in regards to horse racing feel like this was the hardest one to handicap today.
I think it was, and I'm really stepping out here because I did think it was that hard. We do have the Breeders' Cup winner in here, Adaria, but I went with number 10, Baby Loan, draw 1, toss out of the last race. I refer to it as it was the widest. It raced wide. It was on the soft going and showed a little, but it was just an awful race. So I'm tossing it. Won its 2 previous starts, one in a Group 2 race, and that was on the very soft going. So we know the horse does like it. The last one, not good. Jockey change is very positive, going to William Buick. This is an Andre Fabre trained horse. 6 starts, 3 wins, and 1 placing. And I expect odds.
Well, it looks like right now it's 4 to 1. So
we don't get some good odds on this one.
Mm-hmm.
I went with number 1, Grand Glory, as my next choice. 2 terrific races, and she beat Adaria in the last race out by a head. Basically, she won that race by moving at the right time. So the jockey timed it beautifully, and she just went and did her thing. She's only won 1 stinker this year. She finished last in a Group 3 race at Paris Longchamp. She's won on good. She's won on soft. She's won on heavy tracks. So I think she's going to be okay in this race. And she appears to be getting better with age. And that is always a positive sign, especially with mares, in my mind. This jockey by the name of Frankie Dettori is riding, so this is a pickup for him, and not so bad. I wouldn't complain about that.
No, he's a good jockey.
And number 3, well, interestingly enough, this is the 25th anniversary of his Magnificent 7, where he won it was this day 25 years ago. He won 7 races out of 7 at Ascot, at Ascot, and they were doing some documentary and things on it. So that's quite an achievement.
Yeah, it is.
Well, he's been around for a few years, and he's done pretty well for himself. My final choice is number 3, Thundering Knights, with draw 6. She ran okay in her last out. Finished 3rd, but she was facing a really fast improving horse, namely Petite Coco, and she is just really torn it up lately. And that was at the Cura, and Love ran 2nd in that race, so she was running against some decent company. This season she's been around. She's gone to France. She's been in France. She's been in the U.S. She's raced in Ireland. So they've felt they've got something here. But she only has 5 starts, 1 win, but she's placing.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that. And she's a Group 1 winner at the Cura. She beat Santa Barbara, who unfortunately had to be put down. She is no longer with us, unfortunately. And of course, she won at Arlington and won at Belmont. I think this is a bit of a class drop for her. I think she's facing a little easier company than she's faced in the past. Yeah, there's some good horses and all that, but that last race she faced, that Petite Coco has just been tearing it up, and she's been winning with ease. So it's very interesting to see her, and I really think Thundering Knights has a nice chance to hit the board.
For me, I went with number 14 as my top pick, Sibilia, Spain. It's one of those all or nothing horses. It's either going to win or it's going to not finish in the money at all. But I think almost all of its wins have come on a soft course. So that's something I liked. I agreed with you. I like number 1, Grand Glory. This is another horse that's done very well, and it looks to me like it's improving. And you mentioned Frankie Dettori. That's a nice jockey. Number 7, I feel like Jonah Ark is much like Snowfall in the last race, and that kind of being overlooked, has a really good back class. So I think the horse runs back to class this time. On the last time out was pretty bad, but toss that one out. Look at the others, and I feel like you got a good horse there. And then number 8 for me, Bergarita, is a horse that's been at Longchamp 3 times, won 2 of them, and I think they were both on a soft course as well. So I like horses that like to run well at the track that they're running at today. Sometimes there's the phenomenon known as a horse for a course, and don't know if anybody knows why that is. Just happens to be. So it's an angle that I like to look for. The next race, we're going to skip forward to race number 6 on the card, and this one is so which one is this one? Because is this the Les Abiers? Is that it? Longchamp
Longchamp, yeah. It's
all right, go ahead.
A sprinter. Bunch of sprinters around the sprint course, and it is a straightaway.
Yes, 5 furlong. So it's a short one for sure to be over in a flash and a splash.
You blink quick. Okay. Well, I'm very chalky in this race. I went with number 15, Sousse, was draw 12. Her last race, she was short of room. She got pushed at the 7 furlong, but she was never going to get to the winner. And she was, she just got herself in some trouble, and there's no way she was going to win that. She's been off since August, so she's definitely been preparing for this race.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of using a prep race, they're using works to work her up to this race. She went on the heavy going at Royal Ascot, and she's won on it, but she's also had the questionable races, that Royal Ascot race, and that was her Campanella won by disqualification over Dragon Symbol. Her record is 7 starts, 5 wins, and no placings. So remember what we were talking about that before?
All or nothing, baby.
It appears that way.
Mm-hmm.
She's undefeated in France, but all her races that she's won are at Chantilly. So this will be interesting to see how she handles here. She's still not a Group 1 winner, which is something to note. And Oliver Pressé is the rider, and he's been around a long time, and he knows how to get horses to the finishing line. I went with speed in my next choice, which is number 13, Winter Power, who is draw 8. My question with her is, which Winter Power will show up today? And, last time I tossed her last race, she awkward start, ran up to the leaders and didn't have anything less. She did the same thing at Royal Ascot. Same type of thing, just out of gas at the end. But on the other hand, she comes back and she wins in the Northrop. And I mean, she beat a really fast improving Emery Anna. She beat Dragon Symbol. She beat Susie.
Mm.
So that was a group, that was a Group 1 race. So she has been able to handle herself when she wants to. Her only win on soft going was a listed race. So a little bit of concern there. But I think she needs the lead, and with that, she can dictate the pace. It's just a matter of whether she can hold on with some of these ones that are going to be closing very fast. My final choice is number 9, Glass Slipper, who has draw 9. 2 runs, 2/3, but all against top company. This is our Breeders' Cup Turf winner last year at Keeneland. Generally, she's shown that she needs a little time to get herself going, and that may be the case here. Her record at 5 furlongs, though, is very good. 7 starts, 2 wins, 2 seconds, 3/3. It's just a matter of that. The heavy going and what happens that. And let's face it, she does like firm surfaces. So could she just be her prep for Breeders' Cup and try to defend her title?
Could be.
It's very, very possible.
I agree with you. Number 5 for me, Bernier, is my top choice. If you look at it, recent record on soft has been really solid. 8-1 seems like good value for that horse, in my opinion. I did also take Suesa as my second choice. We both mentioned it's an all or nothing horse in its races, but also all or nothing at the distance. 4 times, 3 wins, and nothing else. So it also does like the short sprints. I took number 12. I mean, Tom's Chalky Tom. I'm going to have to change my moniker. I took Mo Salita at 40-1. This horse has 6 wins in its career. 4 of them are on the soft track, and some of them were not even close. So I think this is a horse that really likes that wet foot. And then I finished up my picks with number 3. I don't even know where that. Oh, well, that one's even lower down on the list. Wow, that's pretty scary.
Keep going. That should be the end.
Ooh, how did I pick this one? This is amazing. All right, I feel like Tom. A Case for You. This horse looks like it's on a swing up in performance, though the odds do not reflect that at 100-1. Wait, Rich is going to change. When this one wins tomorrow, Tom, I'm going to absolutely I'm going to become 100-1 the rich. Or I'm going to be rags the riches. How about that? Wow. And then that horse is it's run really well on a soft course too. So I'm shooting for that. You're all chalk on this one. Excuse me, and I'm all the way at the bottom of the list.
I'm very chalky.
Mm-hmm. Something is wrong. It's like that movie Trading Places. I'm Eddie Murphy and you're Dan Aykroyd. All right. The last race is the La Foret, which is a 7 furlong race. And Space Blues is the favorite. Do you think Space Blues lives up to that price?
Nope.
Okay, fine.
Number 11 is my top choice. Sagamamira, draw 15. Winner last time out, Group 3 at Paris Longchamp. Made the lead. The runner kept going, and the horses behind him tried to catch, and that horse just kept going. At Deauville, she lost to Mother Earth by a head in a Group 1, so she's right in that area. This year, she's got 5 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds, and her overall record is 10 starts, 6 wins, and 2 seconds.
The thing is, Tom, we all eventually lose to Mother Earth.
Yeah, we do.
Yes, indeed.
We become fertilizer.
Yes.
Her races last year are really interesting because they're really minor at a minor track circuit at the handicap level. And then they moved her up, and all of a sudden she's tearing it up. And, she did well then too. But they also saw that she needed a little maturing, I think, and then really she fired out there, I should say. Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see how with this horse, because they tried to run her at 7 furlongs or to a mile, and not so good. But I think this is still the 7 furlong tends to be that wheelhouse. I think anything over a mile, this horse is not good. She's won in the very soft going, which is very important, and she's not won a Group 1 yet, but so I think she's got a great chance here.
Dude.
This is another one of those frustrating horses for me, like Ybor River. This is number 10, Thundering Moon, with draw 7. And I put very frustrating because she has terrible results at times. I mean, just awful. But in the very soft going at Deauville, in a Group 1 race, she finishes 2nd. And this horse appears to want a lot of moisture in the track. And I think she's definitely going to get that. Last year, she finished 3rd in the very soft going to St. Mark's Basilica.
It's unfortunately been retired, but not in a bad way.
Was eased in one race on soft going, but was also having all kinds of problems. Just not their day. It's interesting, though. All her wins are at 7 furlongs, and one of them is in a Group 1. So she definitely has the quality. It's just a matter of she can put it together. And 7 furlongs seems to be her distance, so that's why I put her in here. And I think the other race that stuck out for me is that very soft going at Deauville. Number 3, Kinross is my final choice. It draws 9. This is another one that ran okay, but I don't think I think it needed a little more distance last time. I went 6.5 furlongs. I think it needed a little more.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm watching the race, it made a move too early, got up to 3rd, and then didn't finish. So, okay. Record at 7 furlongs. 3 wins from 5 races. It's finished last in 1 race, and the stewards, of course, call you over. Okay, this is one of the top horses here. What happened? And the assistant trainer and jockey said that the horse just lost all action and just had issues. Was just not there that day. And it happens. Let's face it, they're just animals.
Mm-hmm.
The other failure was interesting at Deauville. I think it was just out of form at that point. And because the other 2 races prior to that were not great races. I think if the race pace is slow, I think she's got an excellent chance of being right there at the end.
For me, you don't like Space Blues? I start with Space Blues, Tom. When you're long, I'm short. When you're short, I'm long. But anyway, Space Blues, when I first look at a race, I just kind of scan from top to bottom, and I make a mental note of which horses that I like. And then I try to arrange the numbers in my head, and then I write them down on the paper. Then I go back and review the horses that I like. But anyway, enough about process. When I was going through it, the mental, I was like Space Blues, and I was looking for like horses that I wanted to put behind it, and I couldn't find any. So it just, in that cursory view of the past performances, just stood out to me as a standout in this race. Number 11, I agree with you, is Sagamira. Sagamira sounds like about right. Mm-hmm. That's another horse that's run 2-4-2, as you mentioned, did win the last one there at Longchamp. It'll get another crack to make it 3-for-3 at that track. And then I have number 14, Pearls of Glory at 10-1, number 14. This horse is another one that looks like it's in good form. If you look, it's 3-year-old. Then when it comes back as a 4-year-old this year, it's been in much better form. And sometimes that transition from a 2 to 3, 3 to 4, horses make big jumps at different times. So you see a lot of good 2-year-olds that don't turn into good 3-year-olds. You see a lot of good 3-year-olds that aren't as good at 4. Horses that weren't good at 3 become good at 4 as they fill out. So looks to me like Pearls Galore is one that as a 4-year-old is filled out and seems to found his way. And then finally, I agree with you on the Kinross. Horse is 2-for-3 at the distance, 7 furlongs, and both of those W's, Tom, came on a soft course. So likes the distance, likes the footing, good fit, probably a horse that's going to frustrate both of us and be right there at the end. Well, maybe win. That would be a good thing. Any final thoughts about what bettors might expect when they're watching this in their Twin Spires account or their Bet-Us accounts or whatever account that they use to make their bets that might give them a little bit of insight? Like, what are the things you watch for early on?
Well, these field sizes are going to be interesting to see, especially in the sprint, is whether they break off or they just stay on the center of the course. It'll be interesting, especially the races on Saturday, to take a look at what happens, to give us some idea of what may happen on Sunday. So when you're watching the race, and see if they break off into 2 groups and see who's doing it, and maybe is the near far side or the near side better, or is the center better? So that's something I'm going to watch on Saturday to get some gauge my picks for Sunday.
So in other words, if they break off to the sides, then the horse on the inside outside would have an advantage, and if they go down the middle gates might have an advantage. So maybe upgrade your horses depending upon how they, as you say, break as to the race gets going.
Well, I'm also looking for the going, where the better part of the track is.
Mm-hmm.
And based on the fact that it's going to be very soft or heavy or whatever you want to call it, or just a quagmire. Maybe when the jockeys are out there in the morning walking the course, they're looking for and with the trainers, they're going to look for the better areas where to run this horse. And there's a lot of money at stake. So you want to make the best decision based
Absolutely.
on what you have.
And they're all deep field Saturday and Sunday. Excellent 2 days of racing. So like I said, if you're college football on Saturday, pro football on Sunday, get up in the morning. This is kind of like, I guess, their version of the Breeders' Cup, or our version of their race, right?
Exactly.
But anyway.
Well, and again, we got 3 Breeders' Cup winners in here. Make note of some of the runnings of some of these horses. If you see them at Del Mar on a firm course, don't be misled by that soft going, because they may surprise you and you may get Order of Australia type odds.
Yeah, sometimes they hit that firm course, the afterjets come on. A couple final things before we get up and out of here, Tom. Make sure you head on over to Horse Racing Radar tomorrow. Oh, you can do that too. We'll get to that. But head over to Horse Racing Radar, and there's a contest tomorrow at Belmont Park. I'll be live handicapping it along with Terry. In between races, we'll break down the pace of the race, the profile of a winner, which horses we like. We'll analyze every horse, then make our picks. That's over at Horse Racing Radar. And then again, as Tom was mentioning, right down there, if you like what you saw today, first of all, tell your friends about it. That's the word of mouth is always the best way for a program to grow. But after that, subscribe on YouTube, hit the bell so that when we go live, give us a thumbs up. We go higher up in the algorithms, pushes us up when people search. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Racing Radar. That's pretty much the show today, Tom. It'll be a great weekend of racing, and I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, I am too. And the Belmont races too look very interesting, and we'll have some Breeder Cup, especially the Champagne, and then we'll take a look at those Santa Anita races. So there's a whole bunch of racing that's going to have an effect on the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, speaking of Santa Anita, we went over that last night at the Players Edge podcast with Todd Schrupp from TVG. You might want to head over to our YouTube channel, which is Horse Racing Radar TV, and check that out. There's a lot of good information in there. All right, Tom, we've run on long enough, babbled on enough about horses for sure.
They don't want to hear us anymore.
Yes, let's get up and get out of here. As always, folks, good luck at the races, and may all of our picks end up in the Paris Longchamp winning circle.